I'm Vincent Flood, editor of Video Ad News. We're live at dmexco today. You might not be watching this live, but we're recording from the Video Intelligence, VI stand. Today we're going to be talking about mobile video and the interaction between predictive marketing and mobile video, two hotly growing areas, both of which are being merged by the new platform, which is developed by VI. And I'm going to ask the gentlemen here to introduce themselves.
So my name is Hussein Hosseini. I'm the global head of Programmatic Solutions at Havas Media Group, based in London.
I'm Kai Henniges, co-founder, CEO of VI. We're based out of Zurich.
So, okay, let's start with the basics. So, mobile video, I mean, obviously video is a growing hotly area, mobile is a hotly growing area too. When you bring these two things together, I think in the early days of mobile marketing, people sort of questioned whether, whether video would be too intrusive for this personal device. But it seems like the opposite is actually taking place now, where we're seeing mobile video is almost becoming the dominant form of mobile advertising. Kai, why have you decided to launch the platform now at this point? Yeah.
Well, first of all, we have a DNA in video and in mobile because we come from having a publisher in our own backyard, and we simply observed customer behavior and the switch from desktop to mobile. And we've always done video and also only done video as an ad format. So for us, the area was a natural, and it happens to be the fastest growing online ad area, or the fastest growing ad area overall, because the traditional forms are more in decline. But you're right, mobile is an extremely personal device. People are installing ad blockers, so you've got to be careful with it. If you don't send the right message to the right person, they're going to get annoyed. And we have to avoid that. And we very much want to look at the customer as well and not just say, how can we make the most money out of this?
First of all, do we make too much of this thing of you can't intrude on a person's mobile screen because it's a personal device? I mean, on a personal level, I feel that it's a media consumption device, and I sort of expect media experiences that are similar to what I see on other websites or desktop or OTT. Do we make too much of this thing of it being an intimate device, or is that something that you experience from both sides?
Well, the reason why I have this discussion, because we've done this personalized media activation for so many years, annoying people with retargeted elements in an ad. We've not done a good job in being predictive in personalized elements, or even like showing the element as really relevant. I think that's why we have the discussion today, okay, especially in a personal device like the mobile device, that you don't want to be annoyed, and then the question is, the perception of the age groups is different based on of media, and especially ads. Like, I guess the reaction of a millennial today is like, if he gets annoyed, he's going to block it right away, as it is possible, and desktop will be possible on the mobile device as well. So, instead of thinking, we need to be more strategic. Do we need to be personalized for this brand? Is it necessary? Or do we just go with a broader message to that audience and then optimize afterwards? So it's like you can't always run the same strategy for the same brand or the advertiser. You need to basically customize or adjust yourself to your audience, what we have not done so far, because it's an RTB, it's prospecting, whitelisting, blacklisting, retargeting, and then you hope you make the conversion. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to be smarter with data, you have to be smarter with your technology, you have to be smarter with your inventory, and it's not media anymore. Audience is the new media, so we have to be smarter in total. You can even personalize in video, right? You can if you have the right ecosystem from a deterministic perspective, which some companies have, some companies that come from the publisher side, like VI, that has publisher experience, do have experience in data collection, data attribution, and optimizing and activation, which means they can predict how to apply the message at the right time to the right person across devices.
So Kai, do you think we're going to see continued growth in mobile video advertising, or how we just have that honeymoon period where we've seen this sort of sudden spurt?
So I think if you believe the official stats, you absolutely see continued growth. I think PwC says over the next 5 years it's a 30% annual growth. So for us, of course, that makes a good story. But I think it's a fragile balance, because if you abuse the device, there's the ad blockers are around, and actually, if you abuse it, you also turn people off a brand. I mean, it may be funny to see a good spot once you've seen it for the third time on such an intimate device, it turns into a negative experience. So we absolutely believe in the growth of mobile video advertising, but we've got to be careful with it.
No, I see growth, tremendous growth, to be honest, if you believe the stats. I mean, with 2.5 billion devices around the globe, the numbers are going to increase from a device perspective. Devices are going to get cheaper, so a lot of people will have more smart devices. If it's a tablet, if it's a smartphone, it doesn't matter. Especially as data package is going to go cheaper, so everybody will be connected to the web, right? Which makes it easier from a video advertising perspective or native perspective in-app. It doesn't matter. So with the growth of devices, mobile devices, there will be a growth of mobile video advertising, definitely.
And also, you can't really repurpose TV ads anymore. They're too long. They tell the story differently. And on mobile, you're largely in a muted environment, so you've got to get to the point very quickly and then tell a funny story, all condensed within 15 seconds. So that is also one thing that's got to change. But mobile is the device that people spend more and more time on. So the growth, I think, is naturally there. We can see it all in our own behavior. You don't have to be 25 to observe this. It goes right through the generations.
How do you go about carving out a business alongside Facebook and Google in the sort of emerging mobile ecosystem?
I think of mobile video advertising combined, they own around 65% at the moment, with Facebook being a lot stronger on mobile than Google, especially in video. We think that outside those two big silos, there's relevant and sizable audiences to be identified and send messages to at a much more efficient cost than within Facebook and Google. We found that with our own publisher looking for app downloads, that we were constantly maxing out on audiences on Facebook, and then the incremental user becomes incredibly expensive, whereas we can go outside those two silos and identify the right people to send the messages to. And we're seeing them for the first time with this advertising message. So targeting them is a lot more efficient than trying to cram something down a user that you've seen time and time again within the closed silos.
You get this question all the time. What do you think about Google and Facebook in terms of mobile? But I think it's not the end game, right? So, like, of course, it's a deterministic ecosystem, and they claim they can reach your audiences specifically with the right message, even in video. But results show it's not always the case. And with Google or YouTube, forcing the user, the buyer, to use DBM in the past, we see that that there are new partnerships coming up, new alliances coming up, with your company or with Comcast and Freewheel and Sticky Ads. So content producers are willingly trying to find a new way of going against that. Because it doesn't mean that maybe you find your audiences there, but you need to have quality as well, right? And it's going all in direction quality of content. I want to show my ad on a qualitative website, and how big those ecosystems are, and even Facebook and Google, they have their challenges as well.
Kai, which markets do you think have hold the most potential for mobile video advertising?
So everyone thinks about the US first because it's the biggest media market around. But if you think of markets that have never had TV that jumped straight to mobile, you'll find that even, let's say, weird places that we never think of, Congo Kinshasa, guess what? They've got full-on 4G and data flat. So emerging markets are amazing growth area for mobile video advertising. China is not an emerging market. They're huge as it is, clearly an opportunity. And we're a European company, so let's not forget about our home turf. The fragmentation with all the languages is lovely because we know how to deal with it. So we feel strong looking from Europe, south and east. We have very attractive markets.
On a global level, is there anywhere that you like to play?
Well, you know, I think APEC is a great opportunity as well. And as he said, like Africa, for example, is those countries that never had, you know, devices, manual devices, like analog devices in the past. Mobile is a huge business there. And from a Bolloré perspective, we're investing there as well because Google and Facebook are investing there as well to bring the internet to the people who live there, who have no access to the World Wide Web from an educational perspective. I think just looking at Africa, for example, it's a huge opportunity in advertising.
So what are you launching, and what have you got coming up in the coming year?
So VI for us stands for video intelligence, all about mobile and video and data. Those are the three wings to this propeller, if you will. We're launching it here because we're now ready, if you will. It's a trade show we've attended previously, but this is really the coming out of VI, and we believe our timing is perfect. You mentioned that predictive is the buzzword this year. To us, it's actually not. It's also going to be the buzzword of next year. It's what we do. We keep hiring more data scientists. We keep getting better at knowing who to show which ad. So for us, Cologne is around the corner. Being a Switzerland headquartered company, we felt this is the perfect event to kick off officially. We get the right audience even from the US. People attend, so it's a great launch platform. We already work with first and third party data. We want to get into data even deeper and deeper, and also begin collecting second party data. We want to get into a second business model, and that's performance. Today it's all brand, because if you believe in your ability to predict, then the most honest way of proving that you can do it is performance. So that's clearly on the line for us. And we're also building out hubs of offices. We've just built out London. There's 10 people there now. We'll build out US, and then looking at those new markets that we spoke about. So Asia is very much on the cards for the next 12 months.
What do you think the relationship is between machine learning and man-based agency planning? Will we always need the human touch, or are we any closer to having the magic DSP that you can press the button and everything will fire away and deliver perfectly to the right user?
You just said it. Somebody's pushing the button, which means you will always need a human being who thinks creative, because a machine learning engine is work on logic, 0 and 1, if and else. But I think optimization is a creative thing you need to execute. You need to test and trial. Of course, that's what machine learning engine is doing as well. That's what we do with our Meta DSP. It has a machine learning capability, which shows you how to buy more efficient across various DSPs. You always need the human touch, like trying new things out. Of course, technology will, or data, first, second, or third-party data will always help you to micro audience certain channels. The question more is like, okay, how do we plan this more efficient in the future, like from a programmatic perspective? Because today you have all the channels parallel. You have your social campaign, you have your video campaign, you have your display campaign. But when is actually what relevant more than the other from a value perspective, right? Because you want to influence your user in that experience is going through to buy a product, right? If you do it all at once, he's just getting annoyed. But if you a little tweet here, little video here, a display campaign there, you basically push them because there's no traditional sales funnel anymore, right? It's fickle, right? I want you to think like that. So fickle is not really a logic word, right, for a machine learning engine. So we need to have that creativity part as a human being.
So I absolutely think there's going to be a continued role for the media planner. Interestingly, one of our objectives for this year is for algorithms built by our data science team to beat manual ad ops at scale for the first time. We really think we can get there, but we still need the media planners on the one side, and we need our data science team to figure out what actually works and scales on the other. So an algorithm can never do it alone, but it's a lot better at doing many things than humans are. Think about finding a user within the optimal app at the right price point, at the right time of the day, within his optimal behavior. There's only so many apps that a human media planner can work with to figure out this equation. Our algorithm can handle many, many more. So that's one very simple way of looking at why you need both, but why algorithms are just simply better at some things.
To wrap up, could you give me 2 or 3 predictions about what you think will happen in mobile video in the coming year?
My prediction is, one of the predictions that I think video advertising is going to become dynamic. It's not a new thing, because it exists for a couple of years already. It just takes time to produce it, and it will be a dynamic based on the audience. So everybody sees, a different version based on his behavior, or we will have the dynamic element as an in-content element, where, the example I just brought with a can of Coke, I like Sprite, I see Sprite. Somebody likes Coca-Cola, he sees a Coca-Cola can. That's going to come in the next coming years as well. It's like that, the growth of mobile or devices is going to be tremendous, and we will have more audiences to reach. But we need to be humble still, because we can't go on with the ads we shown to those audiences, which is a 30-second video, as well as we need to work with the publishers making their websites mobile conform, because there are a lot of publishers not there yet. It's great, but that's why you see so many ads you don't actually even see. From a mobile video perspective, it's a different story. But there, we just need to show quality and bring the message to the point. Then the question again is, from a prediction, like how are we going to stay personalized and go more to a broader perspective? I say it really depends on the brand, depends on the budget, depends on the data you have, right? And that really depends on the people who execute it.
Kai, your predictions for the next 12 months?
More relevant marketing messages and experiences that are less annoying and more engaging. And it speaks to what you said also, like more custom storytelling rather than blasting always the same ad out to a broad audience or always to the same people without proper frequency capping.